We are a day removed from the Miami Hurricanes taking out the Florida Gators 26-7. And for those of you who jumped on board the Hurricanes Unfiltered train, I want to say thank you in advance. I appreciate y'all supporting the channel. Again, this is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate all the comments I'm getting on the videos. And I thank y'all for supporting this venture that I'm embarking on in growing Come On Now, the podcast with Hurricanes Unfiltered. Miami gets the W 26-7. And from this game, there was a lot that was said in the post-game press conference. Mario Cristobal was very complimentary of his defense. Could not believe the 0 for 13 that the Florida Gators had from third down and third down conversions. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've never seen a college football team held to one first down and 32 yards and a half. Just haven't seen it. And I actually learned about another stat today, reading the ESPN article, that DJ Lagway's passes in the air actually were minus 3 yards because most of his passes, 7 of his completions, were behind the line of scrimmage. So passing yardage in the air was minus 3 yards. That tells you how much the Gators did not want to put him in any type of risk, or even that maybe he felt very uncomfortable. He probably did because he was under constant pressure the entire game. I mean, he had 4 sacks, but goodness, they were in his grill the entire game. So we're going to take a listen to what Mario Cristobal had to say about the game, about the defense, about the rivalry, and obviously getting ready for Florida State next. We have a bye week, but there's no bye weeks in this thing, man. You got to be getting prepared because FSU has a lot of weapons. So you want to continue this run. And yeah, let's listen to what Mark Cristobal had to say in the post-game press conference.
Okay, again, apologize for the delay, but appreciate you guys being here. Certainly the locker room, those guys are pretty fired up. This game means a lot to us. It means a lot to our alumni, the fan. Okay, again, apologize for the delay, but appreciate you guys being here. Certainly the locker room, those guys are pretty fired up. This game means a lot to us. It means a lot to our alumni, the fan base, and certainly we always felt they were a very talented team. They've got a lot of really good players, and they were always a play or two away from being really, really good. And anyway, so our guys kept their composure when we started getting in a rut for a little bit there with the offense. The defense played off the charts football again. And I'm sure there's lots of questions. I have all kinds of crazy statistics up here to go over, so I'll just wait for the questions.
Mario, first of all, the defense. Florida hasn't been held to a yardage number that low in 25 and a half years or something crazy. And even on a night where the offense had to earn everything, you still win by 3 touchdowns. I just feel like every week you get asked some version of how do you like where you are, but how do you like where you are right now after this one?
Well, I mean, we don't get to play these guys again. This game should be on the schedule every year. It should be. It's a shame that it's not. So we want to make sure that we took advantage of the opportunity. The part that really sticks out for me on the defense, which I didn't even realize till after, was 0 for 13 on third down. I've never been part of an organization that's held a team to that particular statistic. In the first half, I believe they had 21 plays and 40 plus yards of offense. And we had started offensively really good, but we got in that rut, 5, 6, 7 possessions, only 3 points. So I like our progress. That's the best way to state it. I love the fact that we're doing a much better job of blocking out all that noise and that rat poison that people always talk about, and that we're focused on doing our job and doing right and playing for each other and for the University of Miami. So we've come miles, but we have miles and miles to go.
Coach, we'll go to Jordan McPherson.
Coach, the run game, Marty and Fletcher both, I think it was almost 200 yards between the two of them. With Carson not playing as he probably wants to play for them, and to be able to have them to rely on, and for you guys to be able to see how much they can produce when needed.
Yeah, the shame of it is that Marty actually had a touchdown. That was a mistake, which again, it happens. No one's, we're mad, but you know what I mean. It happens. Those 2 guys have been extremely physical. They've been extremely diligent about their craft. They do a great job getting their pads down and getting the muddy yards. I mean, you know, Florida plays a lot of guys in the box, right? They come with different pressures. They send from 4 down to odd. So they give you a bunch of different looks, and typically there's an extra hat that ends up in the box. So they did a good job getting those muddy yards after contact, and when we had even numbers, I thought they did a good job of, you know, getting some, you know, 10, 12, 14-yard gains that helped us create, you know, that second half separation towards the end.
I know it's only one game, but can you pinpoint anything about Carson and Ibel?
I think they're really good at coverage. I think they spread the net really well. I think their combo coverages, their match coverages, they did a good job, and they've done a good job. You know, they've held. I think they allowed 1 touchdown or 2 in about 3 games or so. So you got to give them credit too. Okay, I'm sure there's, you know, when we watch film, we saw the iPad. There's some throws we want to have back, but like anything else, and like anything else Carson has done here, when it doesn't go quite the way he wants it to, he continues to just forge forward. And I got to mention the crowd. That was awesome. We asked for an asylum. They gave us that, and they affect the game. They impact the game. They impact our energy. They impact our players. Certainly impact all of the 100+ recruits that are here today. So a huge shout out to them.
You talk about.
Excuse me. We're going. People are making eye contact. We're going to go to Adam Lichtenstein for the South segment. Yep.
Mario, you mentioned the team kind of getting in that rut, you know, second, third quarter and such. Just how much of that, you said they kept their composure, how much of that's player-led, how much of that is coach-led? Just how do you balance that?
Well, that's program-led, you know what I mean? I mean, we had a lot of pre-snap penalties. That's the ultimate killer, right? You get off the schedule, all of a sudden you got a good 4-yard run, and it's 2nd and 11 instead of 2nd and 6. So when you get off, I think we had 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken. That's very uncharacteristic of us. And we've done that now for a couple of weeks, and we will fix that. Those guys have a lot of pride. So, I mean, I don't, honestly, it's everybody led. Certainly, I don't think anyone in there cares about receiving the credit for it. I think those guys just are so cohesive and do everything so together that they just always find a way.
And you mentioned those pre-snap penalties, like the weird snap infractions. Did you see what was happening there?
Yeah, they're moving. You know, they're stemming, and their move call is pretty pronounced. Now, it is legal. There's no complaining here. I'm not trying to say they did anything illegal. It is just, it triggers a certain type of reaction by an offensive lineman at times. And we've been very disciplined about that before. And we've got to get back to those ways. And I know some of those guys are kicking themselves in the rear for that, but we'll get that fixed. I thought their response to start digging in their heels and sinking their hips and moving piles in the 4th quarter, I thought they took over the 4th quarter from a physicality standpoint and really did a good job finishing drives and pounding the ball.
Coach, we'll go to Andrea Adelson from ESPN.
Ari, you mentioned this game is going away, and obviously you would like to see it continue, but how much did you all stress being the team to come out on top, knowing you will have bragging rights, I don't want to say forever, because it may be played again, but how important was it to win?
The rivalry itself took care of all the intensity that comes with a rivalry. You know, they got word, they got wind that this was the last regular season one scheduled, at least for now. So that adds a lot to it. Yeah, bragging rights forever. You know, we've been able to maintain home victories against them, I believe, since 1977. Okay, that's really significant. You don't want to be the team that gave away that win. But I do believe this. I think what had most everything to do with the way that we dug in and played better towards the end was just playing for each other. I really believe that. You know, these guys, they understand the importance of the rivalry. There's a lot of bad blood, but there is respect. I thought both sides, they went after each other. It was physical, but you didn't see a lot of, you know, you saw some stuff, but you saw football. Guys trying to knock each other out, and that's fine. But all in all, I think you saw 2 teams that were going at it that have respect for each other, but absolutely hate each other. And it was good to come out on top.
Coach, we'll go to Gary Ferman from Kane Sport.
Hey Mario, I don't know if you've had a chance to see the viral moments of Pat McAfee at the pool at the end of game day, jumped off the high dive, threw up the U in the pool, and now you cap it off with this victory tonight. Can you just talk about what the entire day, a lot of it on national television, means to the program?
Well, hopefully everyone got to see that we have, you know, what we feel and know is the best university on the planet. I mean, the setting for game day, you guys have seen probably a million of those. It's hard to find a better one. The energy that the students brought, the faculty brought, everybody. We got to highlight our president, our chair, the board. We got to highlight so many people. And yeah, I didn't get to see the dive. I mean, my goal was to get there and get back to the hotel and just shut out all the noise, quite honestly. To go and handle that for our players so they didn't have to, and to make sure that my messaging there was consistent with what we talk about. I didn't want to go there and make it all about levity and whatnot, and I know it's an opportunity to do that, but I felt that, you know, it was an honor, thank God for the opportunity that, you know, we had that showcase here, but I have no idea if I answered your question. I just really didn't know what you wanted out of it.
You'll see it.
You know, I guess he dove. Was he okay?
Coach, we're gonna go to Mike
The
Cuneo.
little time I was there, I could tell you, he's awesome. He's completely out of his mind.
Coach, go to Mike Cuneo from FLR.
Coach, I know a lot of people now start looking at the Florida State. You guys come out of this one relatively healthy.
I mean, it's tough to tell. I mean, there's some guys that were banged up. You know, Samson went down for a little bit. He's playing great football for us. You don't want to see a lineman go down. We had a couple guys that I thought would be more ready to play today. I know you guys always ask about JoJo and Jordan, and they're better. It was the right call to do what we did, you know, and especially with the bye week coming up, to play in a game like this, you got to be full throttle. You got to be at least to a certain percentage. We really thought we could be there the last couple weeks. We haven't gotten there, but now we have a bye week to do so. But you also have to prepare for a very unique scheme and going through for our first road game, you know, which we haven't. We've been home for 4 weeks straight, which has been an unbelievable advantage and opportunity. So we will see tomorrow, but hopefully we're in decent shape.
Coach, we got time for a few more. We're gonna go to Doogie Lang.
Coach, 2/3 of the way to the state championship, what does it mean to you to win the state of Florida? And how quickly do you turn the page and start thinking about Florida State after a win like this?
Pretty quickly, you know. I mean, coaches, you just, by the time you're in the car, you're watching the computer, you're grading the film. For those guys in the locker room, like I told them, they're a special group. You know, they need to be recognized, and probably more than anybody, the scout team needs to be recognized. Those guys get after it, and we push those guys. And when you got to run 24 plus successive plays, and you know there's not a lot of substitution, you got to give a really realistic look to your team, and the reward. You know what the reward is? That you know, celebrating with your teammates. So we thought it was really important to recognize them. We always find it really important to go around and congratulate everyone in the locker room because everyone had a piece in it, right? From equipment to sports science to nutrition, whatnot, and you know we really we are starting to understand the importance of just pushing away all the noise, all the junk, because it's never been a part of it. It will never be a part of it, and when you watch the tape tomorrow, there's a lot of stuff that we need to get better at. And what we want to do requires us, and I want to use that word requires us to get a whole lot better.
Coach, the last one, we're gonna go to Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel.
Mario, 13-7
We'll get just use it for all the torture you put me through. We're gonna put
in the fourth quarter. You guys had to drive 10 runs, 3 passes, went down the field. Did you tell the offensive line basically to go take over the game?
We tell them that, you know. We tell them that ad nauseum every day of their life. They wanted to. You know, I think Inez Cooper and CeCe Mainoa, they had it made up in their minds that this week they were going to. It was going to be important for them to send the message, not verbally, but with their style of play and the way they were going to finish blocks and chase defenders. And they got their opportunity. They wanted their opportunity, and we were having our difficulties on offense. So to be able to lean on them, and then lean on their training and their conditioning, I thought that was awesome.
How important is it to have 2 running backs as valuable and who work together like Marty and Mark do?
It's actually important to have 5 on your roster. It really is, because those guys get banged up. Some guys need time to develop. I don't think there's a roster in America that goes into camp with less than 5 scholarship guys or more, but the way those 2 guys work together, you know, they got a lot of size and power. They're both 220 plus, and they run behind their pads, and as the game goes on and wears on, those guys are really hard to tackle.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Blue Dogs.
There you have it. Mario Cristobal post-game press conference. I tried to get a question in, but I didn't get called. I had a question I wanted to ask him about, specifically the 1 first down in the first half. I mean, he mentioned he'd never been a part of 0 for 13 from third down in any organization he's ever been in. That's pretty remarkable. I guess the 13 component specifically. But, you know, I wanted to ask him specifically about the 1 first down in the first half and 32 yards. I mean, I don't know that he's ever been a part of a game against a Power 5, I guess maybe it's Power 4 now, conference opponent where you held someone. I mean, I don't care if it's Rutgers or Temple back in the day. 1 first down and a half is crazy. He mentioned the game should be on the schedule every year. I completely agree with him. I mean, obviously, I don't think we're going to see that for some time because of SEC scheduling and the 9 SEC games that they're going to play, but I think it's complete garbage. Because if you actually look at Miami's schedule, Miami only has one dog shit opponent, if you call it that. That's Bethune-Cookman, an opponent that you're going to walk over. It's a practice game. Florida State, for example, has had two of them in back-to-back weeks. Having played East Texas A&M and now Kent State. Miami played Florida, USF, Notre Dame, and Bethune. I think that's the type of schedule. Because even I'm not sure about the Florida schedule, but they played LIU. I don't know if they play anyone else on their schedule that is trash. Let me see. Nah, they don't. That's it. So I guess they want to fill that Miami game with a trash can opponent. I guess that's the goal, is to fill it with trash. So I do give Florida credit because they have played Miami, South Florida on their schedule. 100+ recruits at the game. That's big, man. To see a performance like that, a crowd like that, an environment like that, performance like that, you can't understand how important that is for a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid to see that and be like, yeah, I could play here, because that's one of the biggest things I mean, look, tearing down the Orange Bowl was a dump, but they could have rebuilt a stadium there that the Hurricanes could play football at. That was the way I've always felt. It's closer to the school. It's more in the city of Miami. This is on the edge of the county. And while I do live in North Broward County and it's easier for me to get to and from Hard Rock, there is something to be said for playing in downtown Miami or close to downtown Miami, because the Orange Bowl was just outside downtown Miami in Little Havana area. That mattered to me. At least it did to me. And I'm sure it did to many older Hurricanes fans. So when you moved into the Hard Rock, the environment has been different. I mean, look at it for real. Since the Miami Hurricanes have moved into the Hard Rock, they've had only 2 10-game win seasons. 2. This is like in 18 years, 17 years. And I do think the stadium, that sounds stupid, but I think the stadium had something to do with it. I do. I think there's been a lack of support from fans in going to games because it doesn't feel the same. So when you have a game like this against a rival and you fill the building up in the rain, you got 100 recruits there, and plus, and you perform like this, and you dominate. They see that. It makes a mark. It has an impact. And while Miami may not be a college town, what Miami has to offer as a city, there's nothing comparable to it in the nation with college football. In comparison, the only comparison would be USC. But USC, people in California, LA have 1,000 other things to do, just like here. But Miami, LA, or Miami, USC, even UCLA are the only ones that can provide that similar social and business base that these small college towns can't provide. I mean, that's just reality. But that's Mario Cristobal post game. Those pre-snap penalties he did mention, they hurt. They hurt Miami in this game. They did. And they have to clean that up going into Florida State. Florida State's going to be one hell of a tough game. I don't think any of us expected that coming in. I think you go in, coming into the season, you're 2-10. You're like, there's no way they're going to be any good. But in this world of NIL, a few players here and there, and boom, your team looks like they look. and I know why they're beating up on dog food right now, eating up on dog food right now. It is 77 points and 66 points in back-to-back weeks. It's a lot of points, man. So you have to be prepared, and you cannot commit those pre-snap penalties. You can't. You cannot do it. So again, there's Mario Cristobal post-game. Appreciate y'all's support of the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, ring that bell. Let me know your thoughts on what you had to say and our commentary on it. Please, of course, continue to follow. And we do have an Instagram page. Come On Now Podcast, our main one, and Hurricanes Unfiltered on Instagram. And then we also have a website, comeonnowpodcast.com, where we do write-ups as well. Appreciate y'all as always. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.